Morning.
Hey, Paul. We weren't talking about you at all. Don't worry.
It's that darn Byron guy. I don't know. He just popped up there.
Yeah, I wanted to say howdy, and I'll see you in a couple weeks, Paul.
Byron, I'll see you. I will meet you in Little Rock.
Little Rock, baby.
Yeah.
So, hey, Paul, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. How far away is Rogers from Little Rock?
It's about, what, 3 hours?
3 hours. Yes, sir. Now, you should know that.
I was really good friends with the chief of police in Rogers, Arkansas, named Chuck Gorley. I wonder if he's still there. It's only been about 30 years since we've seen him.
Is that because he arrested you so many times?
You get to a certain age, and it's really interesting because a trigger, a state will trigger a memory from like when you were in your 20s, which is a lifetime ago.
He might be here, but I'm not sure if he'd be above ground or not.
I would hope so. Probably.
I tell you, Paul.
Hopefully,
this is such an honor. I tell you, you have done more in one lifetime than generations could do. I mean, you've won a Oscar, been nominated for so many Oscars. You've won Grammys. I mean, you're on the Walk of Fame. You've done this, you've done that in movies and Smokey and the Bandit. But besides that, you're just a nice guy. I mean, you do charities and everything like that. It's amazing how you do all this stuff.
Wow.
I've got you all fooled.
Just, I'm nothing but grateful. The fact is that, and I almost everything comes to me. I don't go looking for it. What I do is I stay grateful, and I get up in the morning and I have a 3-word prayer. Actually, I say, surprise me, God, which implies here's my reins to my day. And I say, lead me where you need me. If I can go someplace where I'm not in the way, because I spent 49 years of my life being in the way and managing to eke a career out of it. But, the big thing in my life, the big change was when I'm 33 years sober. And when you wake up without the cravings, because I was, cocaine and vodka was the staff of life for me, and responsible for amazing decisions. but
okay, I'm writing that down. Okay, cocaine and
yeah, and it's just it was like. And I don't know how I don't know at what point I crossed the line from use to abuse to addiction, but I did big time. And so when I was 49 years old, I got sober, and the career I thought I had been gone for 10 years. So when I woke up, instead of coming to, all of a sudden I'm going, wow, I'm starting this day without that. Jesus, I need this to get me through the day. And it was like life became a vacation. And it became
amazing
on the island of gratitude.
Yeah.
So when you wake up every morning now, you have such a wide, diverse catalog. Do you wake up wanting to write songs, or do you wake up wanting to find a TV role that you might be good at, or a movie, or just what comes to you? I mean, are you looking for anything specific?
Or are you waiting for your cat?
That's how I wake up. I wake up with, this is about an 8-week-old, and who will wake up on my shoulder, and with pushing a paw into my face, going, "It's time to eat. It's 5 a.m. Leave me alone."
Are you crazy?
But you know what? I mean, at this point, first of all, a lot of the little projects that I've planted, that I've been involved in, that came to me, somebody said, "Would you write the lyrics to Pan's Labyrinth, the musical with Guillermo del Toro?" So we start working on that. And somebody else comes to me over here and says, we're going to take Emmett Otter's Jugman at Christmas for you and Hans.
I love that show.
Oh, thank you. Well, we took it to Broadway, and it got closed down like everybody else did. by COVID, but it got great reviews. So at the Studebaker Theater in Chicago, we're opening in November with Emmett Otters. So I'm working on Pan's Labyrinth at the same time. So all the stuff that I thought I planted far enough apart for to grow and whatever, I was wrong. They're all kind of close together. So I wake up with a lot of really joyous, kind of wonderful things to do and all, and also I never went out really looking for the writing jobs. What happens is that I will hear somebody that I kind of go, wow, that's a really interesting sound or whatever, or somebody that I like, or the phone will ring. And if I think of, sometimes I think it's weird because when I go, you know what, I really like this group, Portugal the Man, and the phone rings and it's Portugal the Man. And all of a sudden I go, wow. This line between the head and the heart is, I think, is better communication to the big amigo than even prayer. You think it, you say it, and boom! All of a sudden, I'm on stage at the Hollywood Bowl with Portugal the Man, or at Red Rocks in Colorado. So it's just, at this point, there's so much. And I've been president for a long time for ASCAP, the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. We
Sure.
A not-for-profit, membership-owned and operated organization that licenses the best music in the world for the last 109 years, whatever. So
how many members are part of that group now?
925,000 at this point. Well, it's gone up probably another 25 since I saw that figure.
Wow.
But everybody from Beyonce and Paul McCartney to somebody who's like writing a song right now with headphones on so they don't wake the baby in the next room looking for that first hit. And that's the person that I just go, I understand that need. I understand that hunger. I understand that feeling of writing a song and knowing that you've somehow found where you belong. It's the cheapest therapy in the world. I mean, I spent my life writing codependent anthems. They are ouch mommy songs. I won't last a day without you. Let me be the one. You and me against the world. None of these are healthy thoughts.
Well, I mean, but it's relatable to most people, and that's what helps.
Now, I tell you, when I was growing up, you was on every TV show I think that was made. You was, whether it was Johnny Carson or someplace else, you was on even the Muppets. You was on the Muppets. And
oh yeah,
that's a big thing for me. And you actually became a Muppet, right? They actually made a Muppet out of you.
Well, they made two Muppets to sing background for me, do an old fashioned love song coming down in 3-part harmony, and so it was me and two other Muppets. And I found a family when I met Jim Henson and Dave Golds and Frank Oz and all these guys who are just amazing, and the characters that they voice and give life to are separate from them. I mean, if I'm having a conversation with Jim Henson and Frank Oz and they've got Kermit and Piggy, there are 5 of us in the conversation. Absolutely. Because Piggy will say things to me that Frank would never say, but he just can't control her. Sometimes she's just rude,
Funny. So do you still have your Muppets in your house somewhere?
No, you know what? I had it sitting in a window in my office the thing is that it seemed that the son was doing the same thing. He's made of foam, I made of flesh and blood, but time is doing the same thing to both of us.
Oh no!
But I'll be 83 in September, and I'd run, or I jog about a mile 7 to 2-3 every morning. I work out 3 times a week. I'm 60 pounds less than I was when I got sober. I feel like a tired 34. But what you were talking about is the fact that I got to a point where I was as addicted to the camera being on me as I was to anything else. As a matter of fact, that was one of the first addictions that was outrun by the other ones. But I became better at showing off than showing up. I was, if you put down a couch and a camera, I was on it, I did the Tonight Show 48 times. I remember 6.
Oh my gosh. Oh. But now you can do it again and remember everything. Well, you're coming to Little Rock. That will be your best memory of your life. I can
Oh, you know
guarantee.
what? I've been to Little Rock several times through the years and performed there and toured there with I think Olivia Newton-John and
Oh man.
yeah, just a bunch of bunch of times passing through Little Rock, and I was born and raised in the Midwest and the Southwest, and it's what's different is that I never in my life ever sold an autograph or a conversation or anything like that. And Byron, who was just here, it said, notice that through the ASCAP Foundation, I have the Sunlight of the Spirit, of foundation, which is basically helping, with recovery and recovery and music and teaching music to kids, all kind of comes together. And Byron said, you can, if you do that, you don't have to keep the money, you can give it away. So the Sunlight.
And Jeff's always available.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Well, the thing, absolutely. And the thing is, if you find yourself in trouble with alcohol or drugs, give me a call.
Now, Paul, you've been with all these people, Barbara Streisand, you won an Academy Award with her. You've been nominated for so many things. Now, was there ever a time you was with a celebrity and you was actually awestruck?
Oh my God, still to this very day, the great thing about we're doing what we do for a living, including you guys, is we don't have to give up our fan card, So if I'm sitting in the room, cool. It's like, I remember my road manager who used to, who was a crazy guy, named Herb Pacheco. If you ever saw the movie Phantom of the Paradise, he played my bodyguard in that. He looked like the devil, black curly hair, and just the sweetest man in the world. And he introduced me to Bob Mitchum, and one of the great friends of Robert Mitchum was one of the world's best bad boys.
Yeah,
and a great actor, I thought. And I mean, I never got over being a fan of Bob Mitchum. But we were neighbors. I lived between Robert Mitchum and Jonathan Winters. So I was for a while.
Gosh!
I was the normal guy on the block for a while. But I'm absolutely a total fan of both of them. So it's like I don't let that go. Quincy Jones. Well, I've known Quincy Jones, my entire career. Since the late '60s. Quincy Jones walks in the room, and some little voice back inside me goes, "Wow, that's Quincy Jones."
And he says the same
Jones
thing.
Is saying, "Yeah,
that's Paul Williams."
Yeah, but you know what? It's true, and the thing is that how the even with the arrogance of the ego boost of that Peruvian marching powder and all that crap that I put in my system, I don't think I ever got to the point where I was so full of self. And that's why I did get full of self. And there's a documentary called Still Alive. It's hard for me to watch because there's footage of me like hosting Merv Griffin where I'm just dead-eyed and arrogant. I'm just a little ass, And it's just, why would anybody want to know anything more about that man? And it's hard to watch that. But I think that even in the midst of that, somebody, like I remember walking down the street and seeing character actors when I first got to Hollywood, and I'd ring out, call them out by name. Of course, I can't remember the names anymore. My friend Ron Perlman says, he's never been sharper, never been, but he can't remember anybody's name. Neither can I.
But not only did you have those, people like me that were your fans way back then, you get new fans when you do like the Penguin and all that stuff.
When I do the what? I'm sorry.
The Batman series.
Oh yeah. Well, what's interesting because it's you kind of have a little banner up with stuff on, and there's a batch of.
That's the cat. Yeah.
That's my alarm. It's interesting because there's some specific areas that it shows that a lot from the music. I love that. A lot of Muppets fans and all, but I have to tell you, the animated Batman series has just got the most amazing loyal fans. I did one of the Apes pictures. Let me see if I can show you guys this. This is
Planet of the Apes.
There you go. This is me on the Tonight Show.
Oh my Lord!
That was we were shooting Battle for the Planet of the Apes, and we were shooting late, so I just wore my makeup. I said to to Kenny Chase, my makeup guy, said, let's, look, we're running late. I'm supposed to do the Tonight Show tonight. So I went over, sang Here's That Rainy Day, There's a lot of Apes fans, Apes movies fans. The Apes movies, the Muppet stuff, Phantom of the Paradise, and that genre, that horror genre, and Smoking the Bandit 1, 2, and even worse. I mean, people just, there's, if I step off a plane in the South, it's like I am Little Enos, and I will, like, I have spoken into people's iPhones. I'd like to kick his ass just once, more times than I can count.
I love it. So the makeup for Planet of the Apes, how long did that take you to get into makeup for that?
Well, it took 3 hours to do the makeup and an hour to coax me in the chair. It's just, oh my God. But again, back to being a fan. I'm sitting there and there's Roddy McDowall, who, was Aldo, the lead ape on this side. And there's an actor named Claude Akins. I don't know if any of you guys would even remember or know Claude Akins. Claude Akins was a great character actor. And I'm sitting there listening to Roddy McDowall when we're shooting in the Malibu Ranch, and Roddy McDowall is talking about, I loved How Green Was My Valley, this movie he was in when he was a little boy, so that took place in Wales, and he said the village in Wales was on that hill right there, and then the thing we did with whatever, and Elizabeth Taylor was. I love that stuff. I'm just a fan. I mean, of course, I belong to Comic-Con and say hi to not my fans, but to my friends. And the thing is that by them showing up and being so generous, we can help people, get their lives, shiny side up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're a super person. I mean, you've done more than anybody could ever dream of doing. And you're such a nice guy. And you got a nice cat, too.
I've got another one named Stormy Daniels. She's amazing. She's Stormy. My wife is like, Mariana's like, her name is Stormy. End of story. I went, no, it's Stormy Daniels.
Oh my God. So you just mentioned your wife. I was about to ask, does your wife or kids, do they do anything in the show business with you or music?
My daughter is a therapist. But that and why, my kids did a pretty good job of raising me. My daughter is a therapist. My son was a really good actor, and who just was like, Dad, I don't want to audition for the rest of my life, And he went on a couple of different paths that were amazing. He said, I want to do stuff physical, So he became a trainer, and they wind up training heads of the studios and flying around on private planes. He was our vice president's trainer, Kamala Harris's trainer. And got to him, and then he fell in love with a girl from Marquette, Michigan.
Oh wow!
And he wound up in Michigan, and and all of a sudden he fell in love with. He bought an A-frame that was kind of funky, right on the water, right on the lake, and he just redid everything, the tile, and all of a sudden he's climbing up on roofs and all, and he's flipping properties. Now he's developing a plant-based cheese. He's got all this stuff going. I swear to God, as soon as he picked up a hammer, I went, "We're doing a DNA test right now." That's
that darn milkman.
I gotta tell you, and I'm just so proud of my kids are in that. My son's 40. How old is my son? He's 42, and my daughter's 39. So and I've got great grandkids, and life is wonderful.
Man, y'all's life it tires me out just listening to y'all.
And it's good to hear that. It's good that you're doing so well because you greatly deserve it.
Well, I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the attention. And it's just the fact is that so many parts of my life have kind of just blended together, and also it all you get to a certain point where the fences start to come down, and pretty soon it all starts to feel kind of like family. Well,
I tell you, we greatly appreciate you taking the time coming on. And now coming up next, we're doing an interview with the Riddler.
John Glover.
John Glover's coming on next.
I was the Penguin. It was the best gig in the world and all, and Grover's going to be there as well. You know, so I think he's coming anyway. It's great fun, and you know, it's just talk about people that are dedicated to having a good time. People show up in the most amazing costumes, and I'll be there for Friday night, then Saturday and Sunday. Look forward to it. If you guys are in the neighborhood, come on, say hi.
We are.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, I'm going to be dressed as the Disney princess. You know, just maybe I'll win. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'll be the little guy in the chicken suit. So I'll see you then.
Well, thanks for the time. You're fantastic. Look forward to meeting you, and keep doing what you're doing. Another 80 years.
God bless. I'd like another 20. Thank you.
And we'll see you.
Being taken.
And take care of that cat.
He takes care of me.
You take care, Paul. We'll see you next month.
Thanks so much. God bless all.
Okay, you take care now. There we are with Paul Williams. I mean, this guy is going to be coming to Comics Con. He's done everything. I mean, he's won one Academy Award. He's been nominated 3 times. And then he wrote songs with Barbra Streisand. That's one Academy Award. He's won Grammys. He's got a star in the Hall of Fame. He's done everything. He's a great person. And he also contributes. Everything he does at Comic-Con goes to charity. But anyway, that's it for right now. We'll be coming back on. We got to do next interviews with John Glover. So, okay, we're out of here. Bye-bye.